Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Stargirl Season 2, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for the finale for this season, Episode 13, otherwise entitled Summer School, Chapter 13. The final time we're going to have Summer School Chapter, whatever it is. But of course, let's watch this trailer, and then we got to talk about it, because whoa.
Tonight, I will become a god. Are you afraid? You should be very afraid.
But yeah, last episode was like a real true part one of a two-part finale. Of course, this finale being the second part of that two-part finale, where we had pretty much everything being lined up. Cindy's a part of the team now, uses her little tactics to get Yolanda back involved in everything. Rick's out of prison. But of course, we now know Eclipso's true plan. His true plan, his real plan, everything he's aiming for, his end game, if you want to call it, is Courtney. He needs control of Courtney. And I was wondering, okay, what's the specific reason for it? And well, we get in the finale, in this trailer, might I say, we get a pretty good idea as to what he's going to do with, under the control of, controlling Courtney, might I say, or with Courtney under the control of him. So yeah, this trailer is pretty epic. It's pretty crazy, and you can tell why they've been sort of like holding back a bit this season, because they just want everything to build up and then just go, whoa, here you go, enjoy this finale. So it looks like I'm going to enjoy it. Hopefully you guys do as well. But of course, before we break down the actual trailer, let's quickly read out the synopsis or description for the episode. It does give us a bit more context usually, and of course, just does all that. But yeah, let me know in the comments section down below your various thoughts, opinions, theories, predictions, everything like that heading into this episode. I'm always curious to read what you guys are thinking, especially because it's a finale and this trailer looks pretty damn good and sets up what should hopefully be a pretty good episode. So let me know all that stuff in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to this finale episode for Stargirl Season 2, want to drop a like on the video to show all that. As Eclipso unleashes the final part of his master plan, Courtney, Pat, and the JSA band together to take him down once and for all. So the time is finally here, the finale for Season 2 of Stargirl, and this season feels like it has just breezed by so quickly, almost as if like Garrick was the pace of the show. Now, we don't know when Season 3 will premiere. They have just started filming it like over the past week or two roughly, but based off everything, it is probably going to come out in May next year, I would assume, similar to the premiere date of Season 1. So it's a bit of a wait, but it's not as long as the wait between Seasons 1 and 2, which was like over a year from the Season 1 finale to the Season 2 premiere. It was roughly a year. Like, that was crazy. But yeah, it's time to break down this crazy trailer for this crazy looking finale, as well as discuss some things heading from Season 2 over into Season 3. But yeah, we start off the trailer with this eclipse over Blue Valley, very similar to the night that Eclipso was released from the Black Diamond. I think we've only had an eclipse in the present day twice, and it was those two episodes. So episode 6 when he got out of the diamond, and then this finale episode. And you know, episode 6 was probably the biggest episode we've had of the season so far in regards to like just big things happening in a quick amount of time, and looks like the finale is going to be following that up. But we have Eclipso, as the young Bruce Gordon saying, "Tonight, I will become a god. Are you afraid? You should be very afraid." And this is obviously him talking to the two Dr. Midnights, I'd assume, continuing on from the end of last episode. And this really just, it just sets up the tone for this trailer and what looks to be the tone and feel for this episode. Dark, spooky, and it just has an overall feeling of uneasiness. And, yeah, like, I'm sad to see Stargirl finishing, but at the same time, I'm really not too sad to be, seeing Eclipso as the scary kid. I'm not gonna lie, I almost had nightmares about it. It's that just makes me uneasy. It's just lovely kid. I've seen him on Instagram and stuff doing, talks and everything like that. But when he's in this young Bruce Gordon Eclipso mode, it gives me the willies. Just, yeah, it gives me the shivers. Within the trailer, we do get to see what we should presume is a pre-possessed Courtney. It could be after, but I would, presume or assume or just think it's before. And she is alongside Cindy in her Shiv getup, as well as Yolanda back as Wildcat. Now, it does look like they are in the American Dream building, but then again, it is quite dark with really the only light from the shot coming from the cosmic staff or cosmos. So this could be the group heading into the American Dream building after Eclipso's altercation with the two Dr. Midnights at the end of last episode. Whether they contact Courtney themselves and that's why they are here, or Eclipso says he has them both and it springs them into like attack mode to sort of help the two Dr. Midnights. I would be surprised if the Dr. Midnights told them to come here because Eclipso is after Courtney and they know that. You'd be keeping her like as far away from him as possible, so I'd be surprised if they brought her in. So Courtney coming here is just playing right into Eclipso's plans. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly it progresses from here. But now is when we get into like the full-on action stuff for this finale in the town center of Blue Valley. Like last year, like we had the sort of a town center finale, but it was just like the final like we had few moments of that fight. You know what was going on there. Here it looks like the entire thing's happening in the town center where Eclipso has fully come out of his shell and we see him jump up here, possibly onto the top of a car or something, but he's actually coming face to face with Jakeem Williams in his first real taste of being a hero. But then again, maybe he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time here and just doesn't even want to be involved. It's like, who the hell is this demon looking dude? But you can see that Eclipso is not playing around here. He looks pissed. He looks angry. He looks the most like, I want to use the term competitive because he actually looks like he wants to fight. He looks like he's like after something now. He looks super, super angry. Now, whether this is after what happens with Courtney or it's a last stand to stop him getting to Courtney, that's another question. I would assume it's the last stand to stop him getting to Courtney, but it looks like we will be getting a full-on just crazy Eclipso in this episode and they're going full on with it. Now, of course, we get the actual events playing out in the present day like we saw in those visions with Jenny, and that's Eclipso taking control of Courtney. Courtney becomes the new host for Eclipso like we saw in those visions that Jenny had towards the end of last episode. And it does appear that Eclipso as Courtney is opening up the barrier between the Shadowlands and the real world, potentially having the Shadowlands swallow up the real world. So he is making his home, you know, the host of the, or he's making our home, you know, go in the Shadowlands or making the Shadowlands, you know, host up the real world or just connecting the two as a whole. I would assume he's just trying to make the Shadowlands absorb the real world, if you know what I mean. And of course, we saw the control that Eclipso had on the Shadowlands a couple of episodes ago and what it did and what he did to Courtney. So imagine doing that to the entire real world that we live in. But even the cosmic staff changes when Eclipso is in control. It turns to this like purple light similar to that of the diamond when it glowed, and people's eyes when Eclipso would influence them. It looks really cool. You know, does it look cooler than the normal cosmic stuff? I'm gonna say the normal cosmic stuff looks cooler, but hey, purple cosmic stuff looks cool as well. Now we do have Pat, Barbara, and Jenny looking at what I would assume is Courtney. Now Barbara looks to be somewhat smiling here, but that just might be an odd shot where it just like she's just changing faces and it looks like that. But Pat is also like holding his like mid area. Now Stripe was being finished last episode, so maybe he gets into Stripe and then Eclipso just sort of messes it up. And he gets sort of injured or he gets like thrown away, and that's why. But Pat looks like he's been in a fight, and I don't think he'd fight Eclipso one-on-one, you know, in like a bit of fisticuffs. I think he's probably been the Stripe robot, and he's just probably a bit shook up from probably an altercation with that. So, yeah, I don't think he's like bleeding or he's got like a metal rod in his stomach or anything. I think he's just sort of like winded or been like, you know, knocked around a bit. But I would assume that Jenny gets left behind at the house when Courtney, Cindy, and Yolanda leave, like we saw earlier in this trailer. And maybe Mike and Jakeem come from Jakeem's house after cleaning the dishes from last episode. When that just sounds weird to say, like someone's cleaned the dishes and now they're fighting a demon. Just that's just Stargirl. Weird things happen. But it makes you wonder who will be the one to stop what's happening with Courtney. It would be hard to think that Courtney herself could battle Eclipso's control and snap out of it, at least at this point. So does Jenny go full Green Lantern? Does Jakeem and the Thunderbolt help? Or maybe those, you know, Green Lantern and Thunderbolt combined? Or maybe even Starman, Starman or Sylvester Pemberton, whichever one you want to call him, arrives just in time to save the day. I've seen people questioning, like, where has he been? But we know, thanks to last episode, that it's only been a week since Eclipso, or roughly a week since Eclipso was released on the Diamond. And that's been this is like the 7th episode since that point. So we saw, I think, Starman episode 1 or 2. So that could only be like a 2-week period. So that would be around the time it would take him to investigate and then finally find out Blue Valley's where, you know, Pat and everything are. So if he arrived now, it'd be sort of the right timing. And that sort of lines up as well with like, with Cameron Markant, which we'll talk about in like the season 3 stuff in a second. So yeah, maybe it's Jenny going Green Lantern, Thunderbolt, or Starman returning, or a combination of all three and other people as well that helps break Courtney out of it. But I think it's going to be a big ask. I think it's going to be a big ask. Now, a big question is, will someone die in this finale? Could it be Cindy? Could it be Pat? Those are the two people that people seem to be predicting. Sorry, I think they are both filming. Both actors are filming season 3, so maybe no deaths for them. But who knows? Maybe they're not filming season 3. Maybe it's like old stuff that people are posting online. But yeah, I think they're both meant to be filming. We'll wait and see in this finale, I guess. But we have already had a death this season with Isaac Bowen from Eclipsos, so maybe like one dead body is enough for Eclipso. But finales generally have surprises, so let's see what they are this time around. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as I mentioned, Cameron Marquand, people asking where is he? Like, I would be concerned until they revealed, the whole thing about how it's only been like a week since Eclipso got out, and that this whole season might have only been 2 weeks. So as long as they include him in this episode towards the end, that's fine. Like, I think if they just there's just a scene with him in this episode, I think that's fine. Just because if like this entire season was like 3 months or something like that, then just having him like be away for like a lot of episodes would be like, oh, that's a bit of concerning. But really, it's only been like a couple of days in their timeline. So like, it's the summer period as well. So they wouldn't be seeing each other every day. So it makes it's logical that he wouldn't be in these episodes. But I think they need to probably include him in the finale to set him up for next season. But that leads into the end of the episode and the end of the season, which of course brings about cliffhangers. So what could the cliffhangers for this season be? Well, you'd have to assume it's something to do with Starman. Even if he appears in like, that last portion of the episode to help with the Eclipso takedown, I'm assuming they'd still do some sort of reveal with him, or he'd say something which sets something up for season 3, which in turn would be a cliffhanger. Maybe the next villain or villains for next season. It's also important to remember the Shade could come back and help take down Eclipso as well. Which would lead into the Shadowlands stuff as well. So, he was talking to Barbara at the end of, or not at the end of last episode, like towards the beginning of last episode, actually, maybe in the first like a third of the episode. But it's just like he's so weak, so I don't know, like how much of an influence he could be. But I don't know, maybe he sacrifices himself to stop it. But yeah, maybe that like the Shade could play into that. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, new villain or villains for next season. Who they could be is another question, but maybe it's something to do with Helix. They mentioned Dr. Bones and everything like that when they went to the Helix Corporation or Institute. Not in, what was it, episode 10? Was it episode 10, I think it was? So I think that's set up. Now, whether they're a major player in season 3 is another question, but we know that Jenny's brother, Todd Rice, or Obsidian, who also has connections to the Shadowlands, is there. Like they said he'd left, but he actually was still there with Dr. Bones. So maybe that's something. Maybe when the Shadowlands completely opens up, Todd Rice gets like full control of his abilities and he's able to escape Helix and then appear at Jenny. Maybe that's something there, or maybe they just get a reading on Obsidian or something like that. But I'd assume they'd probably do an Obsidian cliffhanger if they have plans to do something with him in season 3 and beyond. But that would be, I think, a solid bet in regards to naming someone specifically. But yeah, just this Helix Institute, you just have to have a feeling it's going to do something there. And you never know, they might set up something else in regards to like another hero that might come in, but that's a wait and see. I don't know if they necessarily need to build the JSA too much, maybe one more member. But if Jenny's sticking around, then maybe they won't feel the need to do that. But once again, that's for us to wait and find out. And unfortunately, at the time of making this video, there are no promo images for this finale. I'm assuming they'll probably release it over the weekend sometime or the next couple of days. But yeah, they probably won't reveal much just because it's a finale. They won't want to spoil much. Probably only get a handful. Like the promo images for the last episode weren't much anyway, so I don't think they'll be too much for this finale as well. But they'll come out and you'll be able to look at them at some point. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the trailer breakdowns for this season of Stargirl. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the finale, and hopefully you guys are as well. Obviously, I'll have a review for the finale, and I will, depending on the cliffhangers and the ending of season 2, I might do a video specifically on that and diving into any like comic stuff that needs to be explained if it's needed. I'm not going to force it out if it's not needed, but if I think it's worth doing, then I'll do another video explaining the season 2 of explaining the ending of season 2 of Stargirl. Sorry, but yeah, just keep your eyes out for that over the next week or so. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions, thoughts, theories, predictions, everything like that heading into this season finale for Stargirl. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.